Heaven contained locked within it all secrets of existence. Men live not only under the bow of heaven, but under the will of heaven. This will cannot be explained. It can only be accepted. But the way of heaven is the only way. The human mind relieved itself of a great many uncertainties and could settle down to the more practical problems of taking care of man's own mundane affairs. So heaven became, in a sense, the symbol not only of life, eternal, but truth, inevitable. Heaven was truth because there was no recourse beyond it. Truth, as we know it, is only a term. It is a term that we have created to signify the fact of a thing, the reality of it, its complete explanation or exposition. That attitude which is without error is said to be truthful. Truth as isolated from heaven, man could never hope to grasp. But man, accepting heaven, accepted it as truth, creating within himself the attitude that no matter how you look at anything, you cannot escape from the will of heaven. Therefore, under all conditions, the will of heaven has to be the measuring stick. Beyond it, we cannot go. Against it, we cannot strive successfully. Heaven, therefore, also became the proper emblem of regulation. The Egyptians saw in the orderly progression of these planets and the stars and the seasons a perfect rulership, a revelation of the immutability of natural law. Men today can see far more when they turn their attention to heaven than the ancient Egyptians could. But their increased power to explore heaven has never in any way invalidated the basic Egyptian concept. We can explore further, but we can discover nothing which justifies us in assuming that heaven is an error in anything. Nor can we find any substantial proof that heaven is non-intelligent, that heaven is lifeless, that heaven is only the vast dial of a machine. This we cannot prove. We would like to, not because it would make any particular difference in space, but because it would give a great deal of exhilaration to our own egos. We resent even the rulership of heaven. We resent the fact that we cannot control the sky and the stars. Because heaven was the superior part of creation, man gradually came to liken it to the concept of spirit. Man recognized a certain division within himself of an invisible and a visible nature. His visible nature seemed to associate with the earth. It was composed of the same general substances as the elements that make up earth. But man sensed within himself something that was not earth, something that was invisible, something that he could not examine, could not explore. This something bestowed life upon him, but he could never interrogate it. He could never demand that it reveal its secret. All man could do was accept life, accept the gift of existence, of consciousness, of animation, and then proceed to use these benefits according to his own insight. Because man sensed spirit or life to be the greater part of himself, he associated it gradually, by the law of analogy, with heaven. Heaven became the symbol of spirit, earth of matter. Heaven became the symbol, therefore, of eternal life, earth of eternal death. Not because the earth was dead, but simply by contrast, by relativity, by interpretation. It seemed to be the negative pole of the great life polarities. If heaven corresponded to spirit, it was therefore the mysterious source of the life of all things. And many ancient peoples were quite convinced that the one life of the heavens or of the universe animated all creatures, and therefore that in life they are one, but in body and form they are divided. Man, as a spirit, is ever fighting against death as matter. He is struggling desperately to escape from the limitations which bind him away from universality. Man wants to be everything, everywhere, always. Matter tells him that he can be something, somewhere, for a little while. And that is an aggravating restriction upon freedom of expression. So man rebels against this also, and eternally. Atheism is a rebellion against this. All forms of unbelief, all turning away from the ancient paths of things, these do not bear witness to the failure of heaven, but to the impatience of man striving through the ages, found that he could not storm the gates of heaven. He found that he could not conquer this mysterious invisible in which he existed.